Wow, it's Insta-Cash Grenada. Imagine a game with no numbers to choose from, no drawers to wait on, and you can play it every day, including Sunday. That's Insta-Cash. It's fast, it's easy to play, and you win prizes instantly. Insta-Cash. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making dreams come true.
Cathwell Stationery Services Limited announces its massive blowout sale on all stationery for school and office. Get copy paper at just $18 per ream. Enjoy up to 18% off folders, cardstock, Bristol boards, ink and toner cartridges, laptops, office furniture, and more. To order now, call 442-5848 or 5747. Or call 435-3377 and get free delivery island-wide and the lowest prices nationwide. Or visit our outlet on Scott Street, St. George's, where we guarantee the lowest prices daily. Cathwell Stationery Services Limited, the reliable office supply people.
Yeah. Welcome to Ride Along Live, and it's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Guys, I don't know, something since yesterday, right? Since yesterday, I observed this, and I'm observing it even today. Like, I'm not sure if notification... Hold on. Let me just check this, guys, because this is strange stuff. Facebook does do some strange stuff. Yeah, so since yesterday, guys, I realized that after we started the program, it never ended up on the page. Instead, it showed up in like the story, all right? So people had to go into the story to see the program, and that's odd. I don't know why that was the case. Now today, no notification went out, not even to me. So, all right, everybody got to share the program right now. Share the program right now because Facebook, Facebook onto some crap, all right? So to circumvent the problems that they're having, we have to do it ourselves. Okay, Lydia James, how you doing? Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Wednesday on the ride. You got notification, Jennifer? You got no notification. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, some people know that the program airs at 6 o'clock, so they just happen to be on the page, but no notification has been sent out. And that's crazy. That is crazy. So, guys, again, we have to do it ourselves. All right? Share the program, put it on a page, because today's important, right? On a Wednesday, today especially. Stephanie, you always get notification? You got? All right. Some people got. I guess majority of the people didn't get. I surely didn't get any. Nevertheless, the show must go on. So it's what's pissing you off, right? The show where we engage and talk about things that is happening straight across the world, right? Last week, remember last time we did What's Pissing Me Off, we spoke about the incident regarding the Archbishop International Airport, and I had to come back and clarify the situation and what happened. Now, there is quite a number of things that's pissing off people today. A whole lot, a slur of things that pissing people off today. So I asked the question. We have a guest on the program. She's very pissed off from a situation that occurred today in Grenville, where a young man collapsed, and she was the nurse, or not official. She just happened to be a nurse on the scene, right? She wasn't dispatched from the general hospital or nothing, and she is pissed off as from what she saw occurred during that time. We're going to speak to her in a short. But let me see what's pissing people off. Like, what's pissing you off? What's pissing you guys off? I asked a question earlier. This is what we got. What's pissing people off? What's pissing people off? Jones said, no, those drivers with no consideration for others, ridiculous, changing lanes, no indicator. Yeah. Rachel said the winter. She don't like the winter. The winter is pissing off. Stephanie said, too much guns in the little island, right? Yeah, doesn't that piss you off? It really does. As Shireen said, nothing, absolutely nothing is her day off. She's not pissed off at all. A lot of people are not really liking the cold weather. That's pissing people off. The cold weather is pissing people off, yeah? Knowing, oh yes, the death in Grenada. Again, we're going to talk about that because, again, we have the nurse, Agnes. She's going to be chatting with us in a short. She happened to see everything that transpired from that happened today in Grenville with that young man that collapsed. We'll talk about that. Family lawyers and rent. Family lawyers and rent. Two things you can't run away from, by the way. So you might continue to get pissed off. The ignorant comment on the ride along from my people, especially who claim to be smart but just smart slow. Yeah. Tisk. February Moon says food prices pissing off. Dennis is saying the back and forth of politics, the political things are going on, big people acting like little children. Politics pissing people off. Human beings not paying their bills. Big woman disrespecting their mothers. Going and looking for a job and they're telling you that they have no vacancies. Yeah, I could understand why that's pissing people off. No cost of living. High cost of living, sorry. Selector vibes. Yeah, high cost of living. Pissing selector vibes off. Ministers who lie. Bermuda says she's pissed off by ministers who lie. Isabel is saying that her month-end pay. Rena, my love, how you doing? Someone said they're pissed off with the ignorance and the people, the back and forth of who calling people B-man and who calling people B-man, and yeah. That is lame, by the way. That is lame. I'll tell you guys that, right? That'll make no sense. That's stupid. That's silly. That's stupid season. All they need to stop that. School children who running away and always running away. That's some of the things that's pissing you off. People without common sense. I can understand why people with common sense, that would piss anybody off. Why not? Before we get to Agnes, here's something that pissed me off, guys, and I don't know if it could be corrected. Please help me. Let me know if this could be corrected. Now, oftentimes when I'm in Grenada, most times, I don't know if it's a bad thing that we adapt because we live out here in New York. I particularly usually don't carry cash. I usually don't have cash on me. I have credit cards, right? And I went into the ATM the other day. I put in my card and I went to take out $200. That's in Grenada. And the machine spit out a receipt and say, cannot or no disperse or something like that. Something like that I see on the receipt. So I'm saying, damn, that machine, man. Damn machine. I took back the card. I took my other card. The first card I used was my US card. So I took out my other card, which was a local card. I put it in the machine. The same thing happened. Spit out the receipt and say, can I disperse cash? So I'm like, damn. Like something wrong with my card, right? You would think so as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I went into my account on my phone and I checked, only to find out the bank machine debited $200 for my card, the first card, and get this, it also debited $200 for my second card. Yes. So I had to go through the process. It was like 6, 7 o'clock. The banks are closed. And that's another problem that's pissing me off. The banks are closed too early. So there's no one there that could help me out because what could I do? Who do I call? I'm still working to get my $400, guys. $200 on my one of my Chase cards and a $200 on my Riser card. I want my $400. Even if I have to donate it to charity, it's my money. I want my money. All right. So I'll come in after all for my money, my $400, the bank, and it did that to me twice, you know. And at the same time, I saw a lady walking into the ATM. I said, listen, miss, don't put your card in that machine. Because I just lost $400. Right? Who do I complain to? Who do I complain to? Is there a number? Is there a number of a 24-hour service of somebody that works in the bank? I could call and say, listen, the bank just took my money. The ATM just took my money. The ATM just took my money. Always walk with cash. It's a bad habit. Not only me, guys. Let me tell you something. Living in the US, we get spoiled. Bad. It's a bad thing. Because oftentimes when you work with plastic, you pay more money anyway, right? But it's just a bad habit that we have, right? Even in the gas station, you go to the gas station, you realize you don't have no gas. When you look in your wallet, you realize you don't have no cash. When you look, or you might have a $20 US, and the $20 have a little rip, like a pin juke. And they don't want to take the $20 because they don't want to take the $20. And they don't want to take the $20. So you don't have no cash. You have a card, but get this. The the gas machine don't take ATM cards. So we're kind of familiar with going into the bank, going into the gas station and paying with a card. That doesn't happen. So we have to train ourselves to walk with cash. It's bad, but we have to. So one, please tell me why the bank have to close so early. Tell me why the banks have to close so early. And why most of the banks can't open on a Saturday. More economic development, you can't have a half day economy. You have to have at least extend the time. I mean, nobody think about, let's open it on a Saturday. And then on Friday, the bank line long, you know what I mean? You have to wait and sometimes 3 tellers working. It's slow, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's only me, guys. And probably I'm overreacting, but I think that they should extend the hours of operation for the banks. I don't know if it's written in some kind of constitution that they cannot change, but the banks need to extend their time. What would it take to extend your time? Give people more time for the bank. No half-day economy. That's a bad thing. Anyway, guys, that's what's pissing me off, right? So, an incident happened today, guys. An incident happened today in Grenville. And I got this call earlier from the young lady that was on the scene. And she's right there. We're going to talk to her. Her name is Agnes. And she's shaking her head because it's sad to recollect, I'm sure, right? So joining us to explain what really occurred and why this is such a sad moment and why this would piss off anybody. Agnes, thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Agnes?
I'm good, Junior, and thank you for having me.
No problem.
Just to add my things that piss me off, I definitely have to agree on the banks and the drivers on the road not showing any regard for the pedestrians and other drivers, in fact.
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks for having me again.
We will talk about that later because that pissed me off a lot too. So let's talk about this event, this incident that happened today in Grenville.
Yeah.
What could you tell us about that?
So what can I tell you about the scene? So let's back up a little bit. You mentioned that I was there at the very beginning, which would have meant that I was there at the very point of collapse of this gentleman. But I believe I would have arrived on the scene shortly after. So I was heading to the town of Grenville from the direction of Canal Road and noticed that there was a crowd gathering on the opposite side of the street from where I was walking. And so, I crossed over to find out what was happening because I heard someone in the crowd saying, hey, he collapsed. The man just collapsed. So I got there and noticed everyone was standing around this gentleman. His body is lying motionless right next to a ditch. And no one was really doing anything to help him. So I asked, I'm a nurse by training. This is like, I'm 23 years in the profession. I've been out of Grenada as a nurse, but I've been working as a nurse abroad for the last 17 years. Um, Anyhow, I asked immediately based on, CPR training, did anyone witness this gentleman's collapse? And has anyone called 911? And did anyone start CPR? And obviously, nothing was happening. So I immediately went in, started CPR, and was directing the people around me. Can someone please call 911? And if anyone has not contacted the police station, Grenville's police station, that is, which is like maybe 2 minutes walk from where the incident was unfolding, please can someone walk to the police station? I need a uniformed officer on the scene just to control the scene and for safety of everyone involved. Because as you can see from that video, which unfortunately got posted, vehicles were zooming past in every direction. And again, we can speak to the disregard that is shown by some drivers on the road, right? And so a crowd is gathering, vehicles are zooming past in the up in each direction. And I started CPR on this gentleman the best way I could because he's lying on the cold hard pavement. His left arm is hanging off into the ditch. I did CPR for about 2 minutes, asked someone to check a pulse. I'm not sure if he knew what he was doing. So I reached up, check a pulse. And by then I observed the gentleman's face and realized his gaze basically was fixed, like his eyes were fixed in the socket. There was foam at his mouth, no response. So then I took my own phone out and called 911. And the dispatcher on the other end said to me, well, ma'am, we already called. The ambulance is coming from the hospital. And so then I said, okay, I understand that the ambulance is coming, but is there any way that you can put a call to the police station to have a uniformed officer on the scene? And I can tell you the arrogance in his tone, the way he started talking down, telling me, well, that's not our jurisdiction. We don't deal with the police, which again is another topic of discussion. I found that rather surprising because if a 911 call is put out, my assumption is that the police at least would be alerted to an incident unfolding, given that it was in such proximity to that police station. Anyway, I ended the call because I realized he couldn't do anything. Suffice it to say, the crowd kept coming, people kept coming, gawking, making their own medical diagnoses. I don't know how they arrived at that. Anyway, I took an umbrella off of a woman. So you might notice the gentleman was covered with 2 umbrellas. I said, okay, we need to cover this gentleman just to protect his privacy. So I took the first umbrella from the other lady, from one woman. I covered his head. And then another lady offered up an umbrella, which was black in color. So by that point, he was covered with 2 umbrellas. To back up a little bit, that call I made to 911 was around 1:28 or 13:28 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I covered the gentleman with the 2 umbrellas. And again, no one was coming. At one point, a woman in the crowd tapped me on the shoulder and said she was a police officer, but she was in plain clothes and did not present any ID. So I really cannot confirm her identity as to who she was or what she does. Anyway, I called out, there's a tailor shop across the street. And I said, look, anybody, if you can spare a bed sheet or a curtain, anything that you're willing to part with, I need to cover this gentleman. Because by then it was just getting to the point where people were pulling out their cell phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so someone came from the shop, handed me whatever, if you might see other videos of this gentleman's body being covered. I have already seen 2, which I find is very disgusting. Two videos already posted online of a man lying dead on the street. And people in the crowd were saying to me, well, miss, you can't do that. The police haven't been here yet. I said, you know what we're going to do? We are not moving his body, but I will cover him. So I got that material from the tailor shop. I covered the gentleman up to his neck, and then he was wearing a ball cap. So I adjusted it so that the peak of the cap was mostly covering his face. Eventually, I would say almost simultaneously, a uniformed police officer arrived. There was a doctor on the scene, and then I could hear the sound of an approaching ambulance, like the sirens, approaching. Anyhow, the doctor came, was able to listen to his chest, pronounced him dead. I believe it was just about 1:34ish, 1:35. And then the ambulance arrived. I think there was a nursing assistant based on the color of a uniform and the ambulance driver. Another thing I found very, very disappointing in that moment is that after the doctor listened to the man's chest and pronounced him dead on the scene. She came out, and I am assuming, at least from medical training, from CPR training, that if you're going to show up, if you are called to an emergency and you came in an ambulance, I'm assuming you're prepared to at least document something. She took out, and I kid you not, a torn piece of paper from a glove box. And she documented, she's like, oh, the body is lifeless. What time he pronounced him dead? 1:34. And she wrote it on that piece of paper. I didn't say anything. And then I asked her, I said, ma'am, I just did CPR on this gentleman and I was not wearing any gloves. Do you have any hand sanitizer? Can I have? So she said, yes, they have hand sanitizer. She got me some hand sanitizer, which was at the driver's side of the ambulance. She was flipping that bottle of sanitizer like, I have ketchup and the ketchup is just about finished. And I'm trying to get the last bit of ketchup out of that bottle. It wasn't quarter full. It wasn't 3/4 full. It was more or less empty. And there was no reserve hand sanitizer. I mean, hand sanitizer in an ambulance. You have no forms, not even a basic notebook to document what you found when you arrived on the scene, And so anyway, that was the end of it. I spoke to the police officer. I said, is there anything that you need from me? Do you need a statement? He said, no. So I left the scene because I went, I had business at the bank, which I never even got around to doing because the lineup was rather long. And I was so frustrated by that point that I don't think I would have made any sense or be coherent in the bank. So I left. Anyhow, I did return to the scene and I'm glad I did because obviously the gentleman was still lying there. There was a much bigger crowd at that point, and I could tell you the cell phones were out. Anyway, one of the guys who were at the scene initially, he said to me, ma'am, I'm glad you came back. The police officer was looking for you for a statement. So I was able to give a statement, a rather brief statement, and then I actually left the scene altogether. I went to the police station just to inquire, I said, who receives the call whenever someone places a call to 911? And he said, oh, that goes to police headquarters. So then I said to him, okay, so if they're responsible then for dispatching the ambulance, how difficult it is for them as police headquarters. I mean, we're not a big country, right? How difficult is it for them to make a quick call to the nearest police station, knowing that the ambulance is coming all the way from Maribor, most likely, right, to the town of Grenville. I don't know if that takes 10 minutes. I don't know if it takes 15 minutes, but however long it takes, somebody needs to be there to secure the scene. And I would think the role of a first responder is not just limited to the person or people in the ambulance at that moment, but as a police officer, for example, you should know how to render CPR. You have the authority to secure the scene. You have the authority to control traffic and keep the crowd at bay. None of that happened, because even as that officer showed up in uniform, it just felt like that was just something more to keep the crowds coming. And one of the things that really stood out to me, Junior, and I was so upset by it. And I know, people, my people, our people, they have this thing that they say to us, oh, all you come from away, and when all you come here, all you want to play thing, and all you think Grenada is this and Grenada is that. And I'm like, I'm not about that. I understand what Grenada is. I know how things are. But if progress means everybody in attendance has a cell phone, why can it not mean everybody in attendance, or at least one or two people in the crowd, have some knowledge of how to do simple, basic chest compressions? Simple, basic chest compressions. And more importantly, where is the respect for human dignity? That a man is lying dead on the scene. At one point, a woman showed up hysterical. She identified herself as the mother of one of his children. And then another young lady who was behind her identified herself as his niece. So his girlfriend, for want of a better term, and his niece arrive at the scene, hysterical, inconsolable. And people are filming. I am glad I covered that man's body the best I could, because he would have been exposed for at least 3 hours, however long he was there. And everybody just had their phone out and no one was stepping forward to say, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can help. And they thought, let me use my phone. Let me film this. Let me call everybody, because I could tell you, walking down from the scene, I saw people walking towards the scene. They knew who the man was by name. And they started talking, and then people kept on coming and coming. And I just think, I get it, it's human nature, we're curious. But in that moment, let's remember that this gentleman has a family out there, right? People who probably didn't know that their loved one passed away in the streets of Grenville, unattended, unaided, and to have just strangers really gawking because it's now a spectacle and telling me that it's, oh, well, that's human nature. And I could tell you in that moment, I was royally pissed off. Pissed off, disappointed, any adjective you can find to describe that moment, and not good adjectives either, because I'm disappointed in the response from the police, 911 operators, the fact that an ambulance showed up on the scene and a nursing professional shows up with not even a sheet of paper. Now, I work in a big hospital and I know what an emergency looks like. I deal with code pinks all the time. Code pinks are the equivalent of code blue for an adult. Code pink is for a baby. Now, if a baby collapses unexpectedly, you tend to grab the nearest sheet of paper in front of you, right?
Right.
But if you happen to be in the moment where you anticipate that this is going to happen, best if you know this is happening, when you run to the scene, you say, what? Okay, I know my clipboard is in the corner here. I'm going to grab my clipboard. I'm going to grab my pen. The best I can do is to document in that moment. So if you're coming to a scene and you're being called to the scene, and all you have to document on is your blue pen and a torn piece of paper off of a glove box, we need to do better. And I think basic CPR is not some advanced fancy thing that Canada has and the US has and Grenada doesn't. I think basic CPR can and should be taught to everybody. We focus so much on what goes on in school, who shows up in what color socks, how the uniform looks. Let's teach our children more life skills. And I think CPR definitely wants to be one of them. Respect for human dignity. Learning to just put away your phone for the moment. And realize and recognize that this is someone's son, father, lover, brother, uncle, friend, co-worker, whatever it is. I don't think anybody wants to have their person plastered on Facebook, lying completely vulnerable at the last moment of their life, in the street of Grenville, under the blazing sun, exposed, for the world to see, and they thought that was okay. I don't know, how did we get this way?
Yeah.
And listening to conversations, man, the ignorance that was coming out. This is my people, and I was embarrassed. The ignorance that was coming out of them. People were making medical diagnoses that had no basis in fact. People were talking about maybe he got it because of after effects of COVID vaccine. And I thought, do you know this gentleman? Do you know whether or not he received the COVID vaccine? How long ago did he receive the vaccine? And how come you're so certain that COVID is responsible for what's happening to him at this moment? And even if it was, keep it to yourself, because I really had no time to be listening to that kind of foolishness play out before my ears and eyes. It was so disgusting, to say the least.
Well, first, let me say that thank you for being a humanitarian at that particular.
Sorry, I know I had quite a lot
No,
to say.
that's
I'm so
fine.
sorry,
That's
but
fine.
thank you for having
I just
me.
wanted.
Yeah.
No, I ain't letting you go yet. I just wanted to let you
Okay, that's
explain
fine.
the whole situation.
Yes.
But I just want to say
Yeah.
thank you for being a humanitarian at this point and
Yeah.
jumping to the skill that you
I
have.
tried. And the environment was not conducive to doing CPR because, like I said, the gentleman's arm was hanging off in the ditch. You couldn't do anything because he probably would have rolled into the ditch. So I tried my best in that 2 minutes of trying to do something and realizing I was probably the only one on the scene at the moment who had the wherewithal to say, okay, let's start this, call this person if they haven't been called. Let's secure the scene. Let's do something. And realizing and recognizing that this gentleman most likely had passed.
Right.
Just protect his privacy. Just protect him in that moment when he couldn't really help himself,
Yes. And I want to reiterate that you are a medical professional. You work in the field.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're not just someone who just wanted to be frontish. You
No,
jump.
absolutely not.
You,
Absolutely not.
right. You jump into the
Absolutely not.
to
Yeah.
what you know.
I
Uh,
yeah.
to
I felt I could have done something in the moment, so I stepped in.
Right. Okay. What was your analysis? Do you think that the young man could have been saved? Do you think that he had a cardiac arrest? Or what was the situation?
So after the fact, after all that unfolded, I just happened to run into a young man who he called out to me. He said, Miss, I was the man with him. And so he explained to me what he witnessed. He said the gentleman was stepping onto the bus, trying to get into the bus. And he said all of a sudden, he made a motion of as if he was about to vomit. So I imagine lurch forward with his mouth open, something like that. I don't know. I'm assuming here a little bit. He said, and then so I caught him thinking that he was going to remain on his feet. And then he said the gentleman collapsed in his arms. So he sort of went down to the ground with him and laid him on the ground. And well, that's all he told me. So this poor guy was so shaken up. So I clearly realized, one, that this man did not have a seizure. So there was no shaking, that kind of thing that you see when a person is having an epileptic episode.
Right.
None of that happened. So I'm not a doctor. It's not my place as a nurse to make medical diagnosis of that nature. I could make a nursing diagnosis. But at the same time, I personally believe this gentleman did suffer a cardiac event of some kind.
Right. Right.
That's my
So
opinion. Yeah.
when you felt for the pulse, you say you didn't get
Yes.
a pulse at that point.
So I checked what's called the carotid pulse, which is along the side of the neck.
Right. Yes.
Didn't feel anything.
Uh-huh.
Called out to the gentleman. Obviously, he was unresponsive. So after 2 minutes of me doing CPR and obviously looking up and seeing no one helping, I reached up again. This time I checked both the carotid pulse and the brachial pulse, which is that pulse right in the arm here, so like near the person's elbow, and did not get a response. The thing that I found disappointing, whether or not the gentleman could have been saved, I really don't know. But at the same time, the fact that we have a police station a few minutes walk down the street, I don't know whether automated those defibrillating devices, the AEDs,
Right.
if that's available at the police station. So I am saying that if this was at their disposal, had one of them shown up on the scene right after the call was made to 911, anyone who is CPR trained is also trained in the use of an AED.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse or an EMT or police officer, but if you have appropriate CPR training, which really is push hard, push
Yes.
fast, right? And when you get the AED,
on that beat,
exactly.
on that beat.
So when someone beside me started counting, and in my head, I'm like, just give me something else. I
Yeah.
need this man to stay alive. All these weird things are running through my head.
Yes.
But I am thinking that if this were available at the police station, if correct procedures were followed, because my thought is that if a call was made to 911, which someone did before, why a call was not made to the police station from that dispatch at the 911, like from headquarters, police headquarters at that?
Right.
Go to the scene. It's like 2 minutes away. And if they have an AED, which I don't know, right? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I really don't know. But assuming that they did and had someone showed up on the scene with an AED, maybe if this were indeed a cardiac event, which usually it is in older adults,
Right.
a child, if they have an event, they're usually choking. An older adult walking about the street, looking fine, and all of a sudden collapses and did not show any signs of having a seizure, from what I was told, it's most likely a cardiac event in that case. So when people were yelling at me about his breath, I simply said, we need to jumpstart his heart. That's all we need.
Yes.
And of course, you have a barber shop around, there's a doctor's office, there's a lawyer office, and none of these people have an AED. Well, I'm assuming that they don't. And I don't think it's an unfair assumption. Because to show up at the scene, even the ambulance driver and the nursing assistant, they came out. Nobody was carrying anything to say, well, I have an AED. But I guess too, because the doctor was already on scene and made his pronunciation that, there's like what we call asystole, there was no heartbeat, no pulse, that the gentleman was dead on the scene. So clearly then there's no need to attempt
Right.
anything,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And to the family, I just want to say condolences. We did not
Same
identify
here.
The young man, and I know that there's a
I
family.
know his name and village,
We're
but I'm not
gonna
going to
release
say
it.
anything.
We're not going to release
Yes.
that.
No, I'm not going to say
To
anything.
the
Yeah.
family that's watching us, sincere
Yes.
condolences to you.
Mhm.
Sad. I've heard that the man seemed like he's in his early 50s.
Yes, he
also.
seemed like someone that middle age, possibly. He certainly looked like a fairly young person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now with the AED, because I am also CPR trained, right? I really
Right.
took the time, and I think that everyone should get certified in
Yeah.
CPR.
Mhm.
With an AED, right? What's the possibility if one was presented immediately at that assumed cardiac event? What's the possibility of saving his life if you had
It's
an
been known to
AED?
save lives. It's been known to save life because in any event, you need to get that heart pumping. Even if the individual is not breathing, you need to get that heart pumping. You need to get blood flowing to the vital organs because you have 5 minutes of time. 5 minutes, and then brain cells begin to die. Okay, so without oxygen, time and getting that heart pumping is what you need. So, again, like I said, I don't know the nature of that cardiac event because you do have the ones that they call the widowmakers that the guys don't come back from, right? But at the same time, presuming that this was indeed a true cardiac event, there may have been a chance. How small or how big, I really don't know. But I mean, we would never know, really. We would never know because it was never attempted, it was never used. So we don't know.
Right. Okay. So, based on your assessment, and
Mm-hmm.
if there are people that watching that could make changes, what do you think could have been
Yes.
done differently, or what do you
What
think could
could
have
and
been done better in this
okay.
situation?
So what could have been better? I think we can get to the grassroots after,
Hmm.
but beginning with the 911 dispatch, because I think they were the ones who would have received that initial phone call from whoever it was that made that call, right? So I think it needs to begin there with the 911 dispatch. They're not individual entities. 911 should never be. I have never conceived of 911 as being an individual entity because if the ambulance is 30 minutes away, if a person needs 5 minutes to protect the brain cells, then it means somebody needs to be on scene almost immediately.
Right.
And so put that call into the police station, the nearest station, and let them know that an incident is unfolding. Okay. And it just so happened that this was like 2 minutes away, 3 minutes walk away from the Grenville police station.
Yeah.
That had they had the appropriate training there and an AED at their disposal, take it to the scene.
Right.
What can I do? Okay, I tried CPR, we used the AED, and then at least you can say you did your best in that moment. I mean, we can worry about the bystanders later, but I think the first responders, it begins there.
Yeah.
And then we can go outwards towards whether it's schools, business places, whatever have you.
Right. Someone was asking this question here, and from a medical professional perspective, what is an AED?
It's an automated external defibrillating device. So it basically is like an electrical shock to jumpstart someone's heart. It's a machine just about anyone can operate. You don't need to read a manual because when you open it, it tells you how to place the pads on the person's chest.
Yes.
It tells you where to place it. For example, if the person has a very hairy chest, it shows you the placement. So you just basically follow the diagrams and you listen to the prompts that it's going to ask you at some point, is the scene clear? Okay, and it will advise you when it's shocking the patient so that it tells you exactly what to do. So even if it's your first time using one, even if you had just basic CPR training and it's your first time using an AED, you listen to the prompts and with a little common sense, you place and you do your best with it. Really user friendly is what I'm saying.
Right. And I'm showing this video right here
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I had this session with a professional
Yeah.
nurse who came into my home,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Yes.
all learn CPR. My kids,
Yes. Yeah.
everybody very familiar
Mm-hmm.
with CPR. And I think it's very, very important that you understand how to use an AED and how to administer
Yes.
CPD. So the nurse
Yes. The
came
shots.
straight in, and we learned this thing from professionals. So even my
Mm-hmm.
my
Right.
19-year-old son could do this. Now I think it's important that police
Right.
officers get this type of training.
Mm-hmm.
Every police officer should be trained in
Yes. Everyone.
in
Everyone.
CPR, and I think, I mean,
Yeah.
and this is the AED right there. That's on for
Yes.
the folks who didn't see it. But I think that is one of the corrective
Mm-hmm.
measures that need to be done to teach as
Yes.
much people as
Yeah.
possible
Mm-hmm.
CPR. Now you
Yeah.
mentioned about the people on the phones, and that pisses you off. It pisses me off
Yes.
too. People just
That's
want to capture.
yeah.
People just want content.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I just
and
can't.
it's insensitive. It's insensitive to try to capture this person's
It
face,
is
and
highly
yeah,
insensitive.
yeah,
Yeah, people were picking on the umbrellas, and I thought, what are you looking for? What is so curious? Someone died. Death happens, you know? And it's like we're so unfeeling or so conditioned just to gawk at these things without a second thought. And it's after us, oh yeah, but and then we're calling on God. I'm like, this is not the time to be calling on God. Show some humanity for that person lying there. This has nothing to do with God.
Right.
How would you feel if it were you, your clothes? How would you feel?
Right.
And I think we need to go back. Since we're so religious, we're not doing any of that. How would I feel if it were me in that moment, vulnerable and unable to help myself? How would I feel to have people basically taking advantage, posting it online for clicks, and God, condolences to the families. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing good to come of it. All they succeed in annoyed, royally pissed, and upsetting the family. Because at the end of the day, this man's death, as tragic as it were the way it happened, it's of no import, not even to me at the end of the day, because the reality of this gentleman's death is with his surviving family, his children, his loved ones, co-workers. They are the ones who knew him best, and they are the ones most impacted. The people who posted the videos online, stop it. Please stop it. Put your
Yes.
bloody, show some common sense, show some respect, have a little bit of human decency, and then we can talk about God later.
Yes. Again, guys, the video that we're showing there is the instant where I had my entire family trained in
Yeah.
CPR. We had a nurse that came
Mm-hmm.
over and taught us. That's when I had to do the. Yes, okay. That was, but it's important. It's important that we all understand
It's important. Yeah.
CPR. And I thank you once again for what you did. And again,
Yeah. You're
condolences to the
welcome.
family. Any last word
Yeah.
before we wrap up this segment?
Well, I have another thing that pissed me off,
Oh,
but we'll talk about it's a conversation for another day.
yes,
But
yes,
here, it has to do with accessibility especially like some of our for people with any sort of disability. And I think many people would find
right.
that of importance to them. So I called you on the advice of
That's a
many
piss off. That's
people.
a piss off. That's a piss off.
Yes,
That's a piss off for a whole other show. I want to
yes,
focus
that's
on
a
that
whole
because
other
that
show.
needs it.
And
Yeah, that needs it is this focus.
I'm certainly hoping this conversation reaches the right audience, because what my initial thoughts were to write letters. And the few people,
Yes.
including one individual who's actually trained as an EMT, that he said to me, Agnes, I'm done working for the government. The foolishness that I'm seeing here, I'm going to St. George's University because I just can't. And I felt in that moment, it gave me a little glimpse into what he was really talking about, just being in the ambulance. And I could understand where he was coming from. So, in as much as I was hesitant to do this and come on the live, my initial thought was, hey, Agnes, send 3 open letters to the responsible authorities that immediately, supervise, whether it's police, health, and whatnot have you. But then he's like, no, you're going to, if you speak out immediately, and it's fresh in my mind, let me talk to Junior. So, again, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you and thank you for what you did today. You forever will be blessed for
You're
that.
welcome.
Thanks again, Agnes. Appreciate
And
you.
again, condolences to the family of that gentleman. Have a good night, Junior.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Agnes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, this is a serious thing, right? This is a serious thing because I really and firmly believe that every single police officer, and even if the police officer is not currently trained in CPR, that they should be pulled in and trained in CPR. If they're not, I'm not saying, I don't know the facts, if they are or they're not at this point in time, but if they are not trained in CPR, I think that should be mandatory at this point. Absolutely mandatory. All right. Next thing on the agenda here, guys. Remember, this is Wednesday. This is what's pissing me off. This is what's pissing people off. This video was sent to us earlier today. And this, I want the authorities to watch this and make sure that they make a change to this right now. Take a look at this video.
Yeah, Grenada, morning. Somebody tag Andy or anybody in government responsible for works like doing things on the carnage. Because I just walking by, right? And this rope here, near children and them white man. See how when the water kind of moving, it coming up. So apparently it was flat. And as the woman raised her foot, she did somewhere up there. As she raised her foot, the rope threw her down. She had to grab the boat at the run and grab her. She knocked she knee and kind of thing. So you're saying we are always waiting for bad things to happen to make like a decision. So you're saying all the lights and things we put in on the car energy, painting it, making it look nice, doing all kind of thing. Then we find some kind of solution for that roof. You say it flat now, and then when the water beating it going up. So I was saying the government put a hook on the side, go right down. Like right down. Put hooks on the side to hook the rope on them for the boat. Because that can't tie across the road so and there's a walkway, you understand? Because people gonna fall and damage themselves, and that don't make no sense between me and all them. Because when them white people have to give the reviews for Grenada now, what we want them to say about I knock my knee, I break my hand, my phone fall in the water and spoil, you know? So let's try to share that video, people, and let's see if we could do something. You don't have to be before Christmas or next year. Because that's a serious thing, eh? Because I see normal people to Grenadians walking and they trip themselves in. You understand? Imagine you're old and as you raise your foot, that boat near you down. The problem in the water, you go something, you could knock your face and everybody could break the fall. You understand? So I'll share the video. Share the video and let's see if we can fix it.
Yeah. Now this has been an ongoing problem. Trust me, this has been an ongoing problem. And he mentioned, for the white people or whatever. This is for anybody. Anybody could break their foot on that. Anybody could be walking up on the carnage and that rope just pull and you slip on it, you fall, you knock your head on the boat and you fall into the water. Right? This is a big problem. And the carnage, ladies and gentlemen, we promote the carnage as one of the picturesque tourist site. People come there just the look and the feel of the carnage and the lower part of the carnage. It is like, it has been promoted as a perfect tourist site. Come and check it out. The lights are all glaring and it's beautiful. But just take a little walk higher up now. Just take a little walk higher up. It's like night and day. That something needs to be done with that. No. I don't know, at MIT, my boy Andy, find something, because we can't wait until something happen. We can't wait until something happen and somebody knock their head and somebody die in that water or something before we decide to do something. Yes. All right? All right, let's open the phone line, 718-701-5720. We're taking calls right now. What's pissing you off on a Wednesday? Tell me what's pissing you off. Give me a call. Tell me what's pissing you off. If there's something that's pissing you off right now, this is your time. This is your opportunity to sound off. This, ladies and gentlemen, this situation here has been ongoing and problematic for a long, long, long time. It has been going on for a long, long, long time. That boat situation with that rope situation there, that have to be fixed. And the truth and the fact about it is, it has to be fixed now. Somebody go break their neck over that thing there. Caller, you live? Hello?
Good evening, Junior. What's going on?
Hey, my friend, I recognize the voice. Fellow media colleague and the #1 news anchor in the world. News presenter in the world. I recognize the voice. How are you doing, my friend?
Okay, very well. But I noticed you're having a segment, What Pissed You Off? Is that correct?
Yes. What's pissing you off today, my friend?
Right. So I have a difficulty when people are inconsiderate. Uh-huh. That is a no-no in my book. And case in point, a lot of the business establishments in Grenada, relative to their parking lot, they usually will mark every lane. There's, parking for the general public, but it's also parking for the physically challenged, for example.
Right.
And I have a serious problem when someone who is not in that category, physically challenged, sees it so right to park in the spot designated for the physically challenged. I see that all the time. I have friends who are physically challenged. I have, but I know people, just generally speaking, not necessarily my friends. And I see oftentimes when these inconsiderate motorists park in that very spot designated for the physically challenged, and when they are confronted by security, for example, on the compound of these establishments, they want to put up a fight. They want to argue. They want to say, well, I spent my money inside it, that sort of thing. But that isn't the point, Junior. The point is you can park elsewhere.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And leave, because mind you, when you look at the grand scheme of things, sometimes depending on the size of the car park, they have just one lane.
Right.
For the physically challenged. And you're talking about that in context to all the other parking spots. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So please, everybody, including myself, let's have some consideration for the physically challenged. And I just want to juxtapose one other thing relative to this parking lot scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Stop taking up two lanes. The lanes are there so that you park a single vehicle per lane. You can't be taking up two lanes relative to one vehicle. That too is inconsiderate. So, just saying, but thank you so much for entertaining my call.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. And very, very valid point. Very, very valid point. Have some consideration, because when the people who are physically challenged trying to look for a park, they can't find a park. And just imagine if somebody have to walk with a stick, or someone has to limp from all the way to the back now. That's the reason why they put it closer to the entrance, so they will have easier access. Yeah. Have some consideration, people. Thank you so much, Kenroy. We appreciate that input.
Take care. All the best.
Yeah, man. Yes, what's pissing you off on a Wednesday? What's pissing you off? It's true. It's annoying. Hey, you know what they need to do? They need to start having like a two-way zone, and probably the parking lot could start making money like that, In New York, what they do, they issue you, if you're physically challenged, they issue you some kind of sticker or something that you put in your windscreen, right? Or on your, not in the windscreen, on your rearview mirror, so that they could see that you do have a physically challenged sticker, right? And if you don't have a physically challenged sticker and you park in the area that's physically challenged, they'll tow you. Yeah, you'll get towed, right? And that's probably another way for the parking lot to make some extra money. You have a tow truck someplace just waiting, and just look for them. Look for them. But they have to be issued there, because people who are physically challenged supposed to have some kind of some sticker or something to show that they are in fact physically challenged, and just tow them away. Yeah. Yes, that would need to be done. Exactly. Here's another thing, guys, that's really been stuck in my craw. Lord have mercy. Listen, guys. This political craziness that's been happening here, where people are just taking people pictures and posting it up and calling them all kind of names and all kind of memes and all kind of degrading things that you're saying about people because you probably don't like them or you don't like their politics. That needs to stop. That needs to stop. And the worst part about this, right, is that you see people doing it. And I'm sure if the same was done to them, they ain't gonna like it. Eh? They ain't gonna like it. They go cry hell, water, fire, if someone were to do the same thing against them. But if you ain't gonna like it, if you don't like it, why are you encouraging others? You're creating groups to create this kind of nonsense against other people. Now, if you don't like somebody's politics, if you don't like somebody's agenda, if you don't like what the person represents, you don't like the person's sexual orientation, You don't even have to follow them. You don't even have to see them. There is a thing on Facebook. It's a very simple thing. It's very easy. It's called block. Try it, guys. If for some particular reason someone is annoying the hell out of you, you hate that person, you can't stand to hear their voice, you can't stand them. Just there's a little button right there. The little thing says block. It's BLOCK. Just click that. Just go to that and just block them. Magically, like out of the sky, a magical mystery would come upon you or come upon them or your computer and ensure that you never see anything that person posts ever again. So if you don't like somebody, you don't follow somebody, why are you checking their page? Why are you concerned about their sexuality or their life or what they're doing or what they're not doing? You're so fast. You bothered. Eh? Why are you so bothered? Leave people, let them be. Now, these people who creating this craziness, man, in the name of politics. And you know what is the most annoying thing about this? The people who are encouraging this sit at the helm. And you know how they're encouraging it? Because they are not trying to put a stop to it. None of them up in higher authority saying, guys, no. Like how John McCain, when they said the thing about Obama, he was the first to jump up and say, no. You don't say that about the man. That is not true. Instead, they're encouraging it, man. Yeah, say more. And they're laughing. And they create more of it. Yes, continue. They're laughing. Eh? They're encouraging it. Truth and the fact of the matter is, guys, if you don't like something, right? If you don't like something to be done to you, why are you doing it to other people? Yeah? If you don't like a particular thing, why are you encouraging it on somebody else and you know for a fact that you don't like it? You wouldn't like if it was done to you. And if it was done to you, you go cry, you go bawl, you go call all kind of thing, or you go fight the person, or you go and meet the person, or you go pelting to the person, or you go get on with the person, you go call Facebook to block the person page, all kind of thing if it was happening to you, but you're encouraging it on other people. That makes sense? That don't make no kind of sense. So guys, we have to elevate our politics a little bit more. We have to elevate ourselves, elevate our minds a little bit more. We ain't go like everything somebody say. And if it go on so much that you don't like nothing that the person say, do as I said earlier. Use that little method, that little thing right there that Facebook conveniently put. It's called the block. BLOCK. Like just click it. Block them. Magically, you don't see nothing. You don't even know if the person alive anymore. You don't get no birthday updates to tell you their birthday coming. You don't hear you don't see what posts they make. You don't see. There are some people, me personally, that I don't care particularly to see what they have to say, and I just block them. Up to now, I don't know who, I don't know where that person is. I don't care. I don't even see. I don't want to see. Try it, guys. No, there is a, like on Ride Along. Like we're not infamous for blocking people on Ride Along. It's not something that we do. We don't really block people on this platform a lot. I mean, to get blocked on this platform, you have to be real do stupidness. You have to do the worst, right? You have to do the worst. But if you get blocked, you ain't creating no fake page and come back here, you know. Because I'm blocking your IP address. I'm blocking your sister, your mother, your father, your any computer that's in your household that was used prior on this particular account getting blocked. You don't see me at all. No way, even if you create a fake page. Yeah, I'm blocking your IP. Yeah. if it comes down to that. So black people, and don't follow them. All right? Right, guys. So this is what's pissing you off. And if we could, we have another 5 minutes. So if anyone wants to chime in, call in right now. What is pissing you off? What is on your mind? What you need to get out? All right, give you an opportunity to call 718-701-5720. That's 718-705-720. Yeah, Paul say we gonna have a block party tonight. Just go and just block them. Oh gosh, all you. If all you don't like you when you're watching the show and you're going back and say, I can't even stand the boy voice. His voice annoy me. Look at his face. Look at watch him now. I don't like him now. Eh? Why you frogging up? Why you frogging up yourself? Oh God, just block me now, man. Just block, and keep it moving. Right, Hercules? Call it a blocko. And the funny thing about it is the people who would say that they never follow. I remember this guy say one time, boy, I don't follow, I don't watch, I don't care, I don't want to see. And I the people that know everything that you do because they're watching you more than Watchman. They're watching you, let me tell you, they're watching you more than the IRS. Yeah, they're watching you more than the IRS. What? Yeah, I can't hear what she face. They don't like my face. I can't change it, oh gosh. That my face makeup. Eh? All right, Lydia James, what pissed me off is how all right, Lydia James say it. Let me summarize it. I don't want to read it how she have it. Lydia James say what pissed me off is when the former prime minister talking to the current prime minister at the funeral. They're talking nice. Let me tell you something. Don't get it twisted. I beg, don't get it twisted. Don't believe the hype on social media, please, guys. Don't feel if a politician go on a platform and say certain thing and say certain thing and say certain thing that he and the person don't sit down later in the evening or sometime sip a wine and sit down and chat casually. You have to understand politics. Politics is just like how Soca Monarch does be. You see when Boise and Dash and them go on the stage and they throw in word for each other? But then when you see Dash and Boise, them singing back up for each other, you know. But it's the fans, it's the supporters who does internalize it. Like me personally. People said, this guy named Sheldon Scott. You guys know Sheldon Scott. He's probably watching right now. I don't have nothing against Sheldon Scott, you know. I don't have nothing against Mosquito Man. I don't have nothing against Mr. Dabrio. I don't have nothing against Dr. Mitchell. I don't have nothing against nobody. Although I might come on here and they might say certain things and I might come on and speak about it, but at the end of the day, just the other day when I was in Grenada, me and Sheldon Scott meet up in the stadium. We chat, take a few pictures, we chat, we vibe. Don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted. Yeah? Don't internalize the thing too much. Right? At the end of the day, them boys and them politicians and them up top, them and them sipping wine and all kind of thing, and you know what I mean? Everybody throwing one for each other on the platform. That's politics. All right? All you understand? Yeah, it is getting personal. All right. So Akim say the PMN drinking no wine. Okay. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. We appreciate you so much. This is Wednesday. What's pissing you off? Getting what's on your mind. Getting it out. Yeah? Don't let Don't let it stay inside and fester, cause a cancer. And always remember, guys, and don't forget this, it's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on. We'll be right back.
Now, it's Instacash Grenada. Imagine a game with no numbers to choose from, no draws to wait on, and you can play it every day, including Sunday. That's Instacash. It's fast, it's easy to play, and you win prizes instantly. Instacash. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA. Making dreams come true.
All right, poor and vulnerable says she didn't get no notification and she didn't get no tag, so she pissed off. Poor and vulnerable, I agree with you. Yes, all you didn't even tag. What happened in there? No tag? Not good. Not nice.
As we celebrate 50 years of independence,
I love my Grenada.
Made in Grenada presents the celebration of 50 years of Calypso.
Open me a beautiful tonight, honey.
One stage,
No, not so fast.
one show.
Music holding me, controlling.
Grenada's best Calypsonians performing Grenada's greatest hits.
Don't take it off. I like
Sunday, February 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. sharp. Grenada National Stadium. More information coming soon.
When the DJ play Peter Humphrey, she raise her hand and she tell me, Specky, no place sweeter than home.
The government of Grenada, through the Ministry of Finance, is continuing the rollout of its tax amnesty initiative. The amnesty provides 100% waiver of all interest and penalties on all outstanding balances up to the end of December 2021. All taxpayers with outstanding tax balances and outstanding returns to file are encouraged to take advantage of this amnesty. All tax types administered by the division are eligible for tax amnesty. For further information on the tax amnesty, please contact the Inland Revenue Division at 435-6945 or 435-6946. Email tpshelpdesk@ird.gov.gd or visit our website ird.gd. Amnesty ends December 31st.
Yeah, guys. So if you're in New York or you're going to be in New York, Kem Jones is here for the for his big meetup, the touchdown, he call it, touchdown in New York City. So if you're going to be in New York City, guys, you can get your tickets right now. The link there, the link is right in the description and right there. Let me put it. Yes, you see it? Okay, it's there. Get your tickets now because the thing look as if whoa yo yo. It could be full up. Yeah, they ain't gonna have enough space for people. So get your tickets right now, guys. Get your tickets right now and be a part of this massive, massive, massive event. Kem Jones touchdown in New York. And Kem Jones called me today. He said, boy, they're gonna make a little Lyman thing, right? So he went around and boy meet up with Tal Pre and them fellas and them they hanging out and where is it? Yeah, Kem Jones and Tal Pre and them dread. So the vibe gonna be nice. Everybody gonna be coming through on Saturday. If you're in New York, get your tickets right now. Tickets are $40. It's gonna be more at the door, so you get it now. You get it before you get in there. All right? And avoid paying more at the door.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery's doing for us. When you play Pick 3, cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Now, it's Instacash Grenada. Imagine a game with no numbers to choose from, no draws to wait on, and you can play it every day, including Sunday. That's Instacash. It's fast, it's easy to play, and you win prizes instantly. Instacash. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA. Making dreams come true.
The Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.
Advertise with us and reach millions daily, weekly, monthly. Yeah, over 10 million per month. It pays to advertise with us. Reach more and let us send your business viral. Advertise with us and reach more.